All right, now you can begin.
Okay. Hi, good afternoon, class. I'm Katrina Ali, and I'm here with my lovely group member, Rebecca Ray. And
Hey.
we'll be discussing the most interesting topic of this chapter, basically understanding yourself. I'll pass you on to Rebecca to share her screen and start the show.
Katrina, I thought you said that you were gonna share the screen. Remember, I'm at a different computer, so I don't have the PowerPoint.
What? No, you said you were going to start it. Well, didn't we email it to Sir? Maybe we can get it from there.
No, Katrina, you said that you would do that. I asked you this morning if you needed help, and you said no.
Can you stop shouting at me? Sir, can you assist us here, please?
I think you all need to figure this out, because I don't have any PowerPoint.
No need, sir. This is all part of our plan, basically. So,
Yep, we created a little bacchanal skit to get everyone's attention and explain how important it really is to understand yourself.
I'm sure everyone has a much better idea of how this knowledge can help us to make stable decisions, communicate better with others, and guide us into leadership positions.
So, for example, Katrina and I are both in leadership positions as teachers right now. So, we need to be aware of our personalities and mold them to suit each other. And that is for ideal cooperation. That's the only way that we can really fulfill our duty to you and achieve our best results.
Right, so hopefully we have started out with a bang and got you all interested in this topic as much as we are. So, again, I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Katrina Ali, and my colleague today is Rebecca Ray Panton. And this week we'll be discussing understanding yourself. Just want to double check that everyone is seeing my screen.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah,
okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. What will we be learning today? How to acknowledge and be confident with our true identities for leadership. This is done by 1. Understanding the importance of self awareness, 2. Realizing what fuels our motivation, 3. Using our strengths and weaknesses, 4. Examining aspects of self concept through our values.
So, focused reflection. What is that? That is noticing your true strengths and weaknesses, seeing yourself for who you really are in all aspects. By doing this, you not only get a more genuine idea of your abilities and limitations, but you also better understand your true beliefs and values in life. So, there's a quote in the chapter that I loved by a man, Kevin Paniker. And when I tell you the quote, it's ironic because he's not going to seem like he was much of a panicker at all. But he explained that our strengths are our capabilities. It shows us the areas in life where we can progress. And then our weaknesses are our limitations in life. Basically, what he says is that it's helping to give humility by reminding us that we cannot succeed at everything, even as leaders. And that is something that we just have to live with and accept. So, this way of thinking allows you to get a much more useful idea of yourself, not only in terms of your personality, but your behavior, your motivation, and even that of others. So, it allows you to develop much more genuine relationships. Development of self. The development of self is a massive part of leadership. Warren Bennis was an American author who was known as the father of leadership in leadership studies. And he claimed that leadership can be learned by anyone. So these are the 4 lessons that he gave to help develop self knowledge. 1, you are your own best teacher. There are other people in life, like counselors, advisors, friends, and family, that might be able to help you, but no one knows you the way that you do. 2, accept responsibility. Blame no one. So, by doing this, you can always learn from, grow from, or even change your situation in life. And when you blame someone else, you kind of lose control of it all by placing it in someone else's hands. 3, you can learn anything you want to learn. So that speaks for itself. And 4, true understanding comes from a reflection of your experience. And this is based on a theory known as the servant leadership theory, which was extremely interesting. They explained that a leader must first be thought of as a servant, someone who does actions for other people and their betterment or well being. And to be this kind of leader, you have to really have a true experience of the people that you serve. You really have to know them and their ways of life from A to Z. All in all, leadership comes with self-discovery and initiative. So when you see something that needs to be done, do it if you can. Don't label something with you don't have to do it. Only recognize a problem if you want to help build the solution.
Right. So everyone has a different set of strengths and weaknesses. Being able to identify your personal strengths and weaknesses can grow your leadership self-awareness and your ability to work with others towards change. Now, as you can see, critical thinking is a great example of both one's strengths and weaknesses. Critical thinking can be a strength since it allows you to prepare yourself better, and a weakness if during a presentation or a lecture, all you can comprehend is negativity or critique. Right, so how to identify your passions and strengths? To better understand your strengths, pay attention to your own actions and notice when your inner reply is a compliment. I felt great when I did that. I've accomplished something.
To better understand your passions, pay attention to other people's actions and notice when you say to yourself, I would love to try that. These are the suggested techniques of Donald O. Clifton, an American psychologist, and Paula Nelson, a well known entrepreneur, in their book Soar with Your Strengths, which was published in 1992. In this book, though, they claim that finding your strengths can sometimes be harder than finding your passions. So, in the next slide, we're going to take you through some extra techniques for that.
Right, so the recommendations for finding your strengths. Number 1, listen to yourself when you have done something well, even if no one else noticed. Now, an example I could paint for you is that you were able to organize the shelves at work in a systematic order in, in a scenario where this helped customers and it made inventory much easier. However, your manager or overheads did not seem to acknowledge that. This is one of your strengths.
Okay, so number 2, you're hearing me? Yes. Identify how you feel when you do something great. Acknowledge the feeling of well being that might come through you. 3, know what you learn easily. So, whether it be organizing lab reports, talking to strangers, mastering IT, or patience with children, if it comes naturally to you, that's an aspect of your strength.
Right, so number 4, study your past successes for clues of your excellence to learn what you can do well. So recall when you won that medal or trophy for being a champ at chess or Jenga. And now you are the best at strategizing schemes in your work. Your passion is your strength. Number 5, think about your patterns of excellence. When you practice a skill naturally and you feel it improve each time you do it. So, recalling the board games I previously mentioned, over the years you realize that you've only gotten better. Sorry.
Oh, sorry. So there are clues to your strengths everywhere. And by recognizing them, we don't only identify them, but we strengthen our confidence and abilities in the leadership positions. Developing your talent. So I really like talking about this one. Sorry, I'm getting excited. So people pay too much attention to their weaknesses and end up ignoring their talents. But a better way of leadership and success in life is not by ignoring your weaknesses, but rather by placing more focus on your talents. Everyone has talents. It's something you're just naturally good at, as I said before. So, as you can see, all talents are unique. So, take these two for example. Your boy, Marshall Montano, and Kes. They both have the talent for performance and soca, but I'm sure you could agree with me that their vibe is nowhere near the same. So instead of obsessing over weaknesses and trying to cure them, we should use the time in our life to strengthen our talents and in turn to grow or lead in those areas. High performance individuals. Marcus Buckingham and Donald Clifton conducted 10 years of research on high performance individuals. They wanted to find the similarities between these people and pretty much to understand why they seemed more fitting for leadership positions. So, here were the top findings. The real tragedy of life is not that each of us doesn't have enough strengths, it's that we fail to use the ones we have. I wrote that and stuck it up on my wall. It is really important to note and remember. This understanding has even led to a new style of psychology. It's known as the positive psychology. And it's where more focus is placed on teaching a client to notice and to use their best qualities to feel better, rather than just identifying and treating what is believed to be bad within them. So, leading from this mindset has proven to open up more opportunities for people and to create much more true relationships, I should say, because it allows you to figure out what you do well, to feel energized or accomplished by doing it, and then to be more motivated to continue it.
Right. So, managing our weaknesses. Being able to balance the ideas of your strengths and weaknesses can be achieved by managing your weaknesses. We can't just remove your weakness or a person's weakness like a loose thread on your clothes, but we can transform it so that your strengths can be developed and used with profound power. So, an example of this would be when I did my personality test, my results came up to be an advocate. Now, I found this a little bit strange, but it wasn't until I was able to comprehend my strengths and weaknesses that I understood it. So, my strengths are that I am creative, insightful, principled, passionate, and altruistic. My weaknesses: I am sensitive to criticism. I am reluctant to open up, a perfectionist. I avoid the ordinary, and I am prone to burnout. These are all true, but I have used my weaknesses to make my strengths shine. For example, I did not hesitate to do the skit at the beginning of this class because I believed it was for a beneficial purpose. Does Everyone remember that first introductory class when Mr. Bisu asked us to introduce ourselves? How you think and feel about yourselves fuel your motivation. I normally have a cup of coffee. Have you ever really observed how you introduce yourself into a new class? Recently, I had to make a Flipgrid video on introducing myself, giving a little backstory about myself. It went a little like this. Hi everyone, my name is Katrina Ali, and I'm a final year student pursuing the Bachelor's in Biology. I love to bake, write, work out, and I am a self-taught esthetician. However, I work in the field of natural supplements while juggling the care of an elderly person, a teenager, and well, my husband. I intend to get a proper job in my field once I complete my degree. However, it is going to be difficult to maintain because of having so many people reliant on me. Right, so I don't know if anyone can analyze this description, but basically this shows self-concept. This is how we objectively describe ourselves. Usually, it is based on our roles and attributions. Speaking about the things I love to do or things that I'm good at, shows my self-esteem. Self-esteem is known as the subjective element of how you feel about yourself. I was able to honor my strengths, but was I really able to address my weaknesses in a manner that gave me a higher sense of self-esteem? If I could recognize that I juggle school right now, work, family life, and my hobbies, then I will be able to be more self-aware that when I get a proper job without school, I can manage. This brings us to self-awareness. Self-awareness leads to more accurate self-concept. Self-confidence is the ability to rely on your strengths, competencies, and skills to find yourself. An example would be when no one acknowledged that you did proper work or great work at your job, so you don't acknowledge it either. Or it could be when I bake cakes for a family occasion and I never get confident enough to be proud of what I have done. And that brings us to self-acceptance. That is one of the hardest tasks of life. You need to realize that you cannot change some things about yourself. For example, I have some speech issues. I can't pronounce everything properly, or not all words properly, no matter how hard I try. However, I've only ever gotten high marks at any of my presentations or public speaking scenarios while completing or doing my degrees. What can help us with these mental aspects? Cognitive reframing. This is basically one thing that we can always control is our thoughts. So cognitive reframing would be, as the picture you will see here, would help you think differently to help us change the way we feel about different scenarios. So in this picture, you'll see here that a coworker that you normally say hi to just passed you straight. Now, in the actual human world, most people do what you see under the actual. So you thought, you say, oh, well, this girl vexed with me. I wonder why she's vexed with me. No, I wonder what I did. Why doesn't she not like me anymore? So that leads your feelings to be hurt. You're going to become sad. You're going to be anxious. You're going to be acting strange. So you're going to be spiraling. You're going to be venting to a coworker. And even in some scenarios, acting out rude towards a partner. Alternative approach would be involving cognitive reframing. This would be you thinking that, this person is probably just having a bad day and she has a lot on her mind, or she didn't even notice me. That will leave you to feel unfazed, neutral, and then you would be able to go about your day in a proper behavior, normal. And you wouldn't have to second thought or spiral. And then you would be okay to say hello to her next time. Now, a good example I could paint for you is Jim Carrey. Does anyone know about what happened to him in his early life? He was homeless and a janitor at the age of 15 with his whole family. Today, he is one of the most known actors and comedians. Jim admitted to being angry as a teen, going through those hardships. However, he has worked very hard to never be in that position again. In interviews, people tirelessly ask him, about his past, and he uses his sense of humor to change his point of view. So they ask him if he's sad, and he will reply, "Well, I'm not sad now." Presently, he can't change his past, but he is in the power and has a proper mindset to control his future.
Okay, so it's been a little quiet, so let's get some interaction from y'all. I have a question. So, what do you think is the main influence behind a person's behavior? Is it the aspects of nature or nurture? What do y'all think?
Anyone could speak. We're not gonna bite.
Yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Probably nurture,
Why would you say that?
socialization. Um, well, to be very honest, I believe it's a mixture of both, but I'll lean to more to nurture because, yeah, I believe that the things that happen around your environment and your own cognitive thinking, just plays an aspect on, well, on how you behave, basically.
Okay, okay. Anybody else? It's always Rodrigo. Come, come, come.
I know,
Y'all.
right?
Hi, good day, everyone. I would
Hi.
agree with Nitya, and the reason why I would say is because of culture, right? Because if it is that you grew up in an environment and certain values and so forth are embedded in you, you tend to be the same way.
Right, so like you just kind of mimic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Anybody else?
Hi.
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 Hi. I agree with nature as well because some of the things that would have been instilled in you at uh, earlier age, you would take it with you and it lingers there for a while.
Okay. Okay. One of
Anyone
people.
else? We're not forcing anyone. We just want to know how
Well,
people think
do
about
you
it.
think then? Well, then I have another question. Do you
Right.
think then that it is controllable? Is it something that you can mold into something else, or does it define who your behavior for the rest of your life?
Well, in terms of socialization, like a lot of people would say that based on the culture or the values that was instilled in you as a child, or whatever, would would play will have that affect your behavior. Will you'll keep those traits or whatever. But I believe that the socialization could also have the opposite effect. You could see based on the culture that you're living in, or the values that people around you have, and also just decide that you don't think it makes sense or you want to do something else. So it isn't there's a choice there, but it still kind of bounces off on based on what you see in your environment. So it's not like
And also, do you have to be aware of the fact that you're following it or in
Mm-hmm.
that mold as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. So on to the next. So, as you all know, all of these are prime factors and aspects that shape your persona. And that is as you are now, that is later on. Your race, your culture, your gender, your sexual orientation, your age, financial status, special abilities, disabilities, responsibilities, they all play an influence on your life decisions and your mindset. Though you possess the ultimate control over life decisions and core characteristics. So it's how you use these factors of your life and the lessons that come with them to truly groom the leader within you. I saw a quote from a former Secretary of State, Colin Powell, and he said it perfectly. Effective leaders are made, not born. They learn from trial and error and from experience. There are many things that you may understand better or maybe more empathetic towards because of your age or your religion or your financial status. And in understanding yourself and throughout leadership, it's not just about accepting these factors, but more so by using them to create an admirable identity to those that you serve, to really show deep values and memorable traits to these people. I found a scene from a movie, Courageous. I don't know if any of you guys have seen it, but I find that it explains this piece about factors that shape your identity a whole lot better. So we could take a look at that.
Martinez, have a seat.
Thank you, sir.
You've been very productive your first month here. Do good work.
I'm very grateful to be here.
Well, Mr. Martinez, the reason I called you in here is that I'm looking for an additional manager to oversee inventory and shipping. Carries more responsibility, but it pays more. Sound like something you might be interested in?
Yes, I would.
But before I make my final decision, I'd like for you to work a shift in that department next week. You'll see a list of 17 crates coming in on this sheet. Now, one of those crates will be going to a separate warehouse. Mr. Martinez, when you report the inventory, I'd like for you to report that we received 16 crates.
17 are coming in. But you want me to write down 16?
Yes, that's right. I have another purpose for the extra crate. You are on my team, right? Because I really can't use people who aren't on my team. Tell you what, you think about it tonight and give me your answer in the morning. Make it 10 o'clock. But I'll need to know if you really want this job.
Good evening, sir.
Javi, we need this job. For the first time in a year, we're able to pay the bills.
I know, Carmen, but he made it very clear. If I was not a team player, he did not want me there.
Maybe it's not wrong. It just looks that way. He's the owner of the factory.
He asked me to write down false information, Carmen. He asked me to lie.
When do you have to give him an answer?
10 o'clock.
Javi, if he lets you go, promise me that you will call me. If you don't, then I know everything is okay. Javi, I don't want us to go back.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, Mr. Martinez. How are you this morning?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I don't know yet. Please, have a seat. I trust you've had time to think about our conversation yesterday.
Yes, sir, I did.
And what did you decide? Are you on my team?
Mr. Tyson, I am very grateful to have a job here. I cannot do as you have asked.
And why is that?
Because it is wrong, sir. It would be dishonoring to my God and my family to lie on that report.
Do you understand what this may do to your job here?
Yes, sir, I do.
Javier, may I shake your hand? Young man, you just gave me the right answer. I've been looking for someone to manage inventory and shipping, and quite frankly, you were the last person on my list. But I need somebody I can trust. Will you take the job? We'll adjust your pay.
I would be honored to, sir.
Good. Then the job is yours. Now, Walter will go over all the specifics with you, and I'll make the announcement to the staff on Monday. Congratulations, Javier. Oh, and Javier, thanks for your integrity. It's rare.
Well done, Javier. After 6 times, I was getting discouraged.
So, as you just saw, your beliefs shape your values, which then become the mold for your actions and decisions in life. So, just go to the next slide, Kat. Yeah. It's formed by a mix of logic, emotions, experience, and intuition. All situations in life are different, so no mixture will ever be the same. But as a leader, you'll always be required to understand the ideal balance needed to make your best decisions.
All right, so as seen previously in the movie scene, integrity is key in relationships and working together. We have 6 pillars of character. Number 1, trustworthiness. This is being loyal and admitting your guilt. 2, respect. Considerately treating others in ways that do not demean them. And I like the quote here, "You are not for everyone, and that is a blessing," by Alex Ellie. If you don't like a customer, client, or even a worker, you still have to treat them just as everyone else with respect. Number 3, responsibility. Being accountable, pursuing excellence, and exercising self-restraint. One step closer to leadership is recognizing when you were wrong. It's your responsibility. 4, fairness. Being more open-minded and confronting your own bias that can influence a decision. 5, caring. Your concern for others' well-being, your empathy, and kindness. A lot of people forget that you could be kind to each other in a workplace environment, as a leader, as a worker, and you could also keep it professional at the same time. 6, citizenship. You are willing to abide by laws and societal obligations. You do your own part in upkeeping a good community.
Personality styles and preferences. So what does this mean? This refers to understanding your true character and personality preferences. So knowing how you express your values through your actions. Why is it important? Knowing this helps you to understand how you function in the world. It's especially useful to any leadership position because it highlights how you're perceived by other people. That allows you to broaden or change approaches whenever it's needed and pretty much to adapt to better interaction. How can you learn it? The Myers-Briggs Personality Type Indicator. So this is a test that I was trying to get you all to do on these 16 personalities. It was created by a mother and daughter, Catherine Briggs and Isabel Myers, to help people identify their unique personality type or style. And you all should really try it. Like it's pretty cool. It was based on the research and findings by Carl Jung. Who's next?
Right. So in 1923, a Swiss psychiatrist, Carl Jung, identified core functions of human adaptation known as personality archetypes or temperament types. It basically explains so much about us, how we relate to the world, perceive the world, and reasons for our judgments or decisions. His analysis created 4 pairs of adaptive orientations or attitudes that are diametrically opposed to each other. Right? So we have extrovert, introvert. This describes where we get our energy. Then number 2, we have sensing and intuition. How we get information from the world around us. 4, we have feeling and thinking. How we process that information. 3, how we process that information. And number 4 is judging and perceiving. How we prefer to make decisions. In the personality test, you get a 4-letter, as I previously mentioned, the 4-letter result in your composite profile. So you could either be E or I, and S or I. Then you have T or F, and J or P. For me, I got INTJ.
Okay, so let's take a look at these questions and see which ones you lean more towards. So we tried to summarize the Myers-Briggs test to give people an idea as to what their 4-letter personality type might be. And you can, at the end of it all, then you can type it in and show us what you are. So for the first one, so do you build energy from being around people? If you're an extrovert, you enjoy group meetings and thinking out loud in discussions. You like the trial and error process of any situation because it really allows you to think in a moment. And if you're leaning more towards that, then your first letter is going to be E. If you're an introvert, it's the opposite. You're more of a thinker, and there's a huge conversation going on, but it's more so in your mind than with anybody else. You're a great listener, and you usually like to think about a situation before acting on it. If you're leaning more towards that, then your first letter is going to be I.
Right. So do you like to plan step by step or just figure it out? If you're more of a sensing, which will be S, you want as many facts as possible to gain full understanding. You want to see things in more of a detailed scenario before action. If you're leaning towards intuitive or intuition, you will obviously choose I for the scenario. It will be you prefer small details, don't really matter about, you don't prefer small details, sorry. So it doesn't really matter to you as much. So you're looking more at the major details and you're thinking about the final outcome.
Okay, so do you make big decisions using more logic or heart? If you're a thinker, obviously your letter is going to be T, and you apply more rationality to your approaches. You take on situations of critical thinking, analysis, and scientific methods. If you lean more towards feeling, your letter is going to be F, and you make your judgments through empathy and the value of relationships.
Do you like more of a chaotic or organized environment? Well, then, if you prefer perceiving, you don't need too much structure to your schedule. you can gain information as you go, as long as it takes on any situation. Obviously, that would be a P. And then if you are going more towards judging, the J, you definitely want a particular order for everything. You like your clear beginnings, middles, and endings or deadlines. Now, this is where we ask if everyone would like to put in their 4-letter profile, whether you did the test or not, or you're now figuring it out. You put the team in the chat, that would be nice.
So let's get like an average as to what the 4-letter personality is in the class. Or you could even just unmute your mic and let us know too. That would be cool.
Yeah, that'll be fine. Or maybe you guys don't understand. Then we could probably I think okay. Yeah.
And Kiba? Well, sorry if I mispronounced the name. Oh, okay. No, I thought you didn't understand. Okay, good.
Nobody? Well, my test results have consistently come back over time as INFP.
Nice. Okay.
INFP. Actually, Katrina and I got the same. Except I had an E in the front, and she was an I.
Yeah.
My own was INFJT.
INFJT.
Well, the T at the end of the personality was turbulent. I got that too for my one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What does the turbulent mean?
Actually, let me double check what the turbulent means. I was supposed to figure that one out. I think I did. It was, I have it written here somewhere.
I've also come across somebody who tested IE as well. Balanced introvert and extrovert.
Yeah, I know there's people. Yeah, there are people who does test IE. They call them. Some people like to say they're introvertly extroverted or extrovertly introverted.
Isn't that like the opposite? How could you be?
I had to be one. Well, I mean, if it's percentages, somebody could be 50-50 kind of thing, or like 51-49 kind of thing.
Yeah, because there is percentages when you do the actual quiz or any of the quizzes similar to it. You do get percentages for it.
Okay. Okay, so Rodrigo, what were you?
Sorry, I mean, I thought you would have had this, but I don't pull it back up here. Is INTPA.
Okay.
Assertive logician. I feel like.
Oh, yeah, I got an assertive commander as well. Well, not as well. It was assertive commander. I felt bad, but.
Why?
No, because.
Somebody have to take charge.
I know.
No, but the way that they describe it is kind of like Hitler. It's not nice.
Oh, yeah.
Don't think about Hitler. Think about somebody else who.
Yeah, who's
Steve
similar.
Jobs and these other people. But these are all people that pretty much not liked by their co-workers.
Steve Jobs is a visionary. He's an awesome guy. Don't worry.
Yeah, but he still wasn't liked well by his employees.
Yeah. Yeah. Alexa, what were you?
Like, what did I get?
Yeah.
Wait, when I did the personality test?
Yeah. Yes. Oh, that was the other reason.
Okay. To be very honest, I never finished.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like in this little one here that we did, like you didn't lean more towards anything in particular. I just remembered why I hated the assertive commander, though. It was Margaret Thatcher that was put in there. And I don't want to be compared to Margaret Thatcher. But I mean, more or less, you'll understand what it means to understand yourself. I don't want to take up too much time because I know that we have the other presentation coming on. So
also, so I believe turbulent would be more for a person who has an issue with these small details, a person who is more like eager to improve. So that's why it blends in with my personality type as being an advocate. Because I tend to just focus on improvement and perfectionism, and yeah, that is why I have turbulence at the end.
All right, cool.
Okay. So, yeah. Is it?
Okay, so yeah, so that more or less explains our piece. And while we were doing some research after, Kat and I found this quote that we thought really is just the perfect quote to end this chapter with, because it really explains the bliss that is understanding yourself. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's us.
That is it.
Okay, bye.
All the references thingy wasn't too sure. Yeah, so stop sharing.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.